All right, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will be showing you how to properly put on your waist beads. My string is hyperallergenic, so you do not have to worry about skin irritations or breaking out or anything like that. These are glass seed beads. You know, the more you bathe, the more they are clean, because they are attached to your body. Notice there are no spaces to leave for any of the string to be visible. I personally use waist beads because they discipline me with my eating habits. As you can see, I have gained about 20 pounds. So I'm about to start working out again. And my waist beads are going to help me on my journey as I work out. So, when placing on your waist beads, you do want to find a target area. This is my target area. So, I'm going to tie these directly below these. And what you want to do, you see how I came in. I get the beads a little push back because, like I said, you don't want to have any space in there. So I make sure I push them back before I find the spot that I want to put my beads in. I pull them under one time. And then there I have where I would like my beads to be placed. I really don't leave a lot of room in there. You know, depending on your body structure, they will move from time to time, but the purpose is to put them in a target area where you would like to see results, because they do help shape the body. And they also, like I said, they help with discipline of your eating habits, because if you eat too much, they will become slightly uncomfortable. And eating too much may cause them to break. So you want to be careful if you're not ready to be completely disciplined in your waist bead journey, because they will fall. You know, I like to have mine lined up semi-perfectly. They're not going to be perfect, but you just want to make sure they fall directly underneath the ones that you want to put them in, the place that you want to put them in. So once I have, my hands are a little slippery, so let me dry my hands off a little more, because the tie on is important. You miss one beat, you could break them and not be able to tie them again. So once you have them in place where you want to tie them, yeah, make sure your hands are not slippery. I have this bag here and a towel in the sink, so I do not have beads spilling out everywhere. So what you want to do is just cut. I'm cutting down a little bit because I want as many to fall in the bag as possible. Okay, I now have my string cut, and what I will do is I will tie a knot. See how I just overlap those? They're fine because I already placed them exactly where I want them to be. So we're just going to make a knot. I make a loop. I knot inside of here like 5 times, or as many times as you like, to secure your knot. My hands still feel a little slippery, but that's okay. You want to pull your string to where you want your waist beads to. You do want to give yourself just a slightly little bit of room, but not a whole lot, because, like I say, this is a disciplinary thing for me. So I cut my knot to where just a little bit of string is showing. I take my lighter, and be careful because you don't want to burn completely into the knot. You just want to hit it with a little flick, let it light, and then there you have it. Okay, this was my first choice. Now, I have these beautiful ones I want to put on. And like I said, this is my target area. And during my journey, I will only be doing cardio. I will be doing squats. And I will be doing sit-ups. That's it. Not too heavy on the, And see, now I have these exactly underneath here. I'll pull these up some so I can have a little bit of space to work with, because it's important. To see. Okay. Only a few fell off of this one onto the towel, but I like to keep them separated. Okay. I have another little baggie. I'm gonna drop these in. And once again, I'm gonna cut my string. I try to cut it right over the bag. That way I can leave as much string as you possibly can so you can have you some slack somewhere. Just don't worry about the excess beads because I try to make them to where one size fits all. Okay, I have my placement of where I want them. I see a little bit of slack right here. See that slack? So I'm going to pull back because I don't want any slack in there. Okay, and now I'm going to start my knot. Make sure you keep a tight hold on the end that you're not, because you want to use that for your pull. See, I'm still able to pull and take as much slack out of there as possible because I think that knot is a little too thin. I'm going to go ahead and wrap around one more time just for extra security. All right, now I'm going to take my cut, and I cut just a little bit above the knot, just a little bit. I come back with my lighter again. You have to be careful because these catch really quick. You just burn and roll it up in there. Now that still has a little bit of string showing, so I'm going to hit it with the lighter one more time. But just be careful, ladies, because you don't want to actually burn the knot. Okay, and that's how we're sitting right now. I have one more. Well, I actually have two more, but I haven't finished it yet. This one, it's a little too not tight enough, but we're going to rock it out how it's rocked out right now. See, if I cut this again, I'm not gonna have the room that I need to tie it because of my waist size. So for right now, I'm gonna just leave it because along my journey, you'll notice this will be the first one to start falling because once you lose the weight, of course, they start to fall. That's how you know what kind of progress you're making with your exercises and stuff. So I'm going to gather up these beads that fell in here. Throw away that excess string. And put on this last pair. Like I said, I do have another pair I'm going to put on. My stones are not heavy. Like once you get used to wearing them, you'll forget that they're there. Some people are like, I don't like stuff on my skin. But after you have them on for so long, you really do forget that they're on. Okay. Waist beads are an old African tradition. When their kids are born, they initially start out with the waist beads on their ankles. And as they grow older and become mature, they start adorning the waist with the beads. And it helps to form their figure. Watched a lot of videos on this. These are not to be sexualized. Waist beads are to be, you know, I use them for my weight loss journey. But I also think they're pretty. And I don't sexualize them per se. But they are, you know, can't take away the fact that they are sexy. They give some type of sex appeal. Okay, I'm push those up again. So I have room for these. Now look. Okay. Let me show you guys these. These are one of my other favorite colors to wear. But like I said, I had to have a procedure at the hospital, so the ones I had on, they made me cut them off. So I started again like 6 months ago with the gator ones. Those actually were the last ones that I had that I did not sell from my last batch. So I was like, bump it. I'm gonna put them on. Okay. See my target area once again. Eventually I'll put on more, but right now, usually 4 or 5 is really my limit. I know somebody has a body full of them. They love it. To each their own. Okay. Trying to get them in this bag. It's less I have to pick up. And pay attention to as I'm holding the string still in place where I want my knot to be. Drop these in my hand. Okay, so you see my knot. Making sure it is not. Oh shoot. Okay. Push these back on. Because this is where my knot was at. And I don't want any space in between. So make sure your beads are good and tight as to where you want your knot to be. So when you pull them on, you're not giving too much slack away. Okay, I'm going to start my knot. These trying to get on. No. Try not to have eaten anything before you put your waist beads on also. Don't put them on a real full stomach. Because once you place them on, they're on. I don't know why these keep sliding down, but you want to bring them as close as possible to the meeting spot where the knot is, because you don't want a lot of slack in there. I'm going to give this one a double pull back because they keep trying to do their own thing outside of my knot. Okay, like I said, I usually loop around about 5 times. And there we have it. These were trying to give me a little hard time, so I'm going to make a double knot on top. Because, you know, you want to secure your... Alright, see how we don't have any... These are a little tight, but these are going to be my motivation to get this weight off of me a little faster. Because they are super tight. But I think they're in a great area as far as my target weight. I could add a few more in here because that would really help with the, you know, the trimming. But I'm going to have to do this. This part is what has to be, you know, my focus area. So that's why I'm only doing cardio and, oh shoot, they're not trying to come back loose. That's why I'm only doing cardio and squats, because I'm not trying to lose a whole bunch of my weight. I'm a person who likes my curves. So, all right, we're going to go find that knot. Don't worry about burning yourself. Just don't let it keep burning. Put it out as soon as possible. And these are the finished results. These, like I said, they're a little loose, but it's okay. These will be my motivation to lose weight a little faster, because they're not exactly how I would like them, but they're on there. And then look. But I can't cut them, because if I cut them, they'll be way up here, and that's just not a focal area for me because they roll up. So, there we have it. I'll be back in 2 weeks with my updated results so y'all can see how they're going to fall on me. And yeah. Follow my waist speed journey.